These two mini-split air conditioners from Haier are placed here. I repaired the circuit boards of both units, but once again, these circuit boards have developed issues, and I'll explain what the problem is so that you can also learn from this experience. As you can see, I've removed the covers from both condenser units. First, let me show you the unit that has a complete failure. The circuit board has failed again. I had previously repaired this circuit board. The SMPS on this circuit board was entirely short-circuited, and its prints were completely burnt out. As you can see, I repaired all those prints. I also replaced the rectification diodes. The prints in this area were also damaged, and I repaired them as well. After repairing, when I reinstalled the circuit board, we made a mistake. Or rather, it wasn't exactly a mistake, as I do check things properly, but as a human, sometimes errors happen. When I installed this circuit board back into the unit, I didn't check the compressor. If you don't check the compressor before repairing the circuit board could develop issues again. And the same thing happened here. I had completely installed the circuit board and started the unit, but during this time, the circuit board failed again. If you repair or install a new circuit board without checking the compressor could cause the circuit board to fail again. This will lead to a loss of both your money and time. So, let me show you how to test the compressor and what its condition is. If the compressor is in this kind of state, do not install the circuit board on it, as the compressor will cause further damage to the circuit board. The situation with the other unit is a bit different. Although the compressor in that unit is also faulty, what happens is that when I install the circuit board, the circuit behaves as if it's stuck or hanging. And what happens is that after leaving it for half an hour, it starts working again, but it doesn't function properly. The compressor in this unit is faulty in a different way, so this will give you some experience as well. If you encounter a compressor like this, don't connect a working circuit board to it either. Although the circuit board seems to recover, which is a bit strange, this usually doesn't happen and could instead damage something else in the circuit. So first, I'll attach the multimeter probes to this compressor to check it. I've connected the black probe to the compressor terminal, and now I'll connect the red probe. The resistance value of the compressor winding on the multimeter is showing 0.5 ohms. When I connect the probe to the V terminal, it shows the same value. However, the real issue appears when I perform a body short test. I connect one probe to the terminal and the other probe to the copper line attached to the compressor. The multimeter is showing a body short resistance of 4.8 ohms, which means the compressor is completely damaged. There's no chance a circuit board will work properly with this compressor. Our mistake was not checking this before repairing the circuit board, which is why it failed again. In this other unit, I have also connected the indoor unit. I will now supply it with electricity. First, I will check the incoming voltages in this unit to see what they're reading. Then I'll show you how it hangs when we turn it on again. I turned on the indoor unit, and it's showing 16 degrees on the display. The LED lights on the outdoor circuit board are also on, and the expansion valve is working well. Now I'll show you the circuit voltages. I've attached the black probe to the neutral wire, and the multimeter's red probe is placed on the W terminal. It's showing 10.6 volts, but it should be showing 15 volts. The other terminals are also showing 10.6 volts. After the repair, it was showing 15 volts, but now it's not. I've now reconnected the compressor wires to the circuit and supplied electricity again. The circuit board's LED lights have turned on, and the switching on the circuit board has also engaged. Now, let me show you what the issue is. I've reattached the black probe to the neutral, and I'll check the U, V, and W terminals with the red probe. Now, no voltage is shown on this terminal, which means this circuit board has hung, but sometimes the voltage spikes, like right now it's showing 17 volts. The next terminal has 15 volts, and the terminal after that is also showing 15 volts. Now, the last terminal is reading 335 DC volts. Let's wait for a bit and see what happens next. The unit has now entered a strange situation. At this moment, the power LED on the circuit board isn't working. It's completely off. However, after a short while, it will turn on again. The compressor will try to start again, and it might also show an error afterward. But for now, the circuit board hasn't reached that point. The purpose of this video is to show that if you encounter such a situation, you should not attach the compressor to the PCB. Always use a high-quality multimeter, because if you have a low-quality multimeter, it won't give you accurate readings, making it difficult to identify faults. Now, let's test the second compressor. Let's check the resistance value of this compressor winding. And here we go. It reads 0.6 ohms, the same as the previous compressor. All terminals show the same value, indicating that the compressor winding is fine. However, when performing the body short test, the resistance value shows up for a few seconds and then disappears. And on attaching the probe back with the copper pipe, no value is shown. I'll shift the black probe to another terminal and place the red probe on the copper pipe. There's no value showing now. We'll need to wait a bit since the previously shown resistance has disappeared. Despite the circuit board being okay, the compressor still isn't working. I am reconnecting the red probe with the compressor terminal and the black probe with the copper pipe. It now shows approximately 30 megaohms and the value has disappeared. This compressor shows a leakage of approximately 40 megaohms, which is quite high. At this level, compressors typically work fine. However, this compressor isn't functioning properly. So make sure not to make this mistake yourself and avoid any potential damage. Click on the left or right thumbnail to watch our next videos and subscribe. Thank you.